Madam Commissioner, thank you for taking the time. We live in an increasingly digital economy. How can we use that to increase our growth potential in the EU?
Well, indeed, it is a digital age, and we should take far more opportunities than we have already. And that means that all the instruments that are at stake, not only in the industry that we are aware of, but also those new development of services that are completely digitized. And therefore you need infrastructure, and infrastructure means the fast broadband that is at stake. We should be aware that there is so much talent in Europe, and especially in the younger generation. On one hand, we are facing a youth unemployment that is really worrying. On the other hand, in 2015, we badly need to fill in ICT-related jobs, and I'm talking about 1 million jobs that has to be fulfilled in 2015. So we need to make that imbalance, that the demand and the supply is indeed taken into account and giving new opportunities for both, for as well those who are looking for jobs as well for the industry.
And what can be done politically? What are on the top of the EU and the EU Commission's agenda?
Well, you are just in time, so to say. For this week, the Commission will take an important decision, and that is about the telecom single market. It is quite remarkable that we have a single market in the European Union, not completely finalized, but the single market is there. Only one sector is not yet tackled in that single market, and that is the telecom sector. And we are not only talking about a connection voice from one point to another, but it is about data, and it is about the implementation that's all connected with that. So in that proposal, we are talking about giving more certainty and predictability for investment in our broadband infrastructure, but also talking about getting rid of roaming, getting a better harmonized and coordinated spectrum policy, but also, for example, talking about net neutrality, that everybody can just get access to the internet, and that there is no blocking or throttling permitted. So then that is out of the question. And that means that quite a number of those proposals in this huge package that is at stake should just push our competitiveness of Europe. And we are in a hurry.
I think you're right. Some of the regions that experience really high startup rates, Silicon Valley, but also places like Tel Aviv with an extremely high tech startup rate. How can we match places like this in Europe?
Number one, don't copy. Be yourself. And we do have so much own identity in research and innovation. And by the way, talking about your country, Denmark, you are excellent in e-health, for example. We could be a leader in e-health, globally speaking. And then it's not only talking about the final products and services that are at stake, but also making an industry out of it and making an economic activity that is a forefront runner. But there are far more activities that we could take as an example. So time is not our friend. We are in a hurry. Don't copy, but just implement and push and develop our own growth and our own.
What is missing? Is it capital? Is it skill? Is it a better, combination of things across borders? Or?
It is a combination. And talking about a single market, also for telecom, means that it is indeed not anymore ring-fencing 28 markets in Europe, talking about telco. So a far more efficient and effective business model could be dealt with. That is number one. Number two, it is focusing on the consumer too. Giving the consumer more transparency, more flexibility, but also more the opportunity to just pick what in his or her vision is best fitting with the situation. Developing, for example, apps is one of the major economic activities at the moment. if we are looking at the figures of today, it is hundreds and hundreds of thousands app developers and a very excellent, also globally speaking, a very excellent performance of the European industry. So let's go for it. Let's indeed unite our efforts and not anymore just ring fencing the market and split it up. Do it together and making the best out of it.
I think the EU is quite a unique. It's a unique example, but are there anywhere else that we can look to for inspiration? Are there any shortcuts that we can make in terms of realizing some growth potentials from member states or from entirely other places?
Well, again, and I'm repeating myself, don't try to copy other ones. Just develop your own business model and your own field of strength. But of course, looking around and finding out, and for example, for startups, we badly need venture capital for that type of activities. And our financial sector is not yet in the same mood as, for example, in the US or elsewhere, where venture capital and those who are involved in that are far more interested in those startups or in just the next stage of after an invention than the implementation. But still, we should take into account in Europe that we should make it in a European way and indeed giving opportunities.
All right, Madam Commissioner, thank you very much. It's been very interesting. Thank you for your time.
You're welcome.